just wanted to ask about your story. Obviously, you said that you were an alcoholic on the streets of Rhyl, and now you're working in the food bank. Can you tell us about the process between being in that point and then coming to the food bank? How did your life change, and how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I'd always worked from the age of 12 in the catering industry, and I'd never been out of a job. But with the catering industry came, the drinking after work. It sort of just comes with the territory, and just over time, that drinking came more and more and greater and greater, and I just lost control of it. So I was still managing to work somehow. Um, I mean, getting up in the mornings and drinking, in between shifts in the afternoon drinking. I just lost control. So, sort of a longer story shorter, um, I was at my family home, and mum and dad just literally said, I mean, they put up for years trying to help me through with AA and counselling, and just nothing would click. So I'd gone off in a huff after an argument, and my mum had basically said, if you leave this house now, you never come back.
Mm.
So I was drunk, so I just thought she was just, oh, she'll forgive me and everything. But she stuck to it, and she locked me out, and I was in this whole new world. I was, I'd always worked. I had money in my pocket, and it was crazy. So I was dropped off by my sister in Rhyl, and that was it. So I'm like, right, I'm homeless now, and previous to this experience, I'd literally walk past a homeless person and say to myself, you just get a job, it's easy, just having that judgment. But I was on the streets and in and out of hostels for about 2 years.
Wow.
And, it was the hardest thing in my life, but also the most beneficial and the most humbling. And it really broke me down inside, that judgment, that way that I saw society and took things for granted. And it was just a lucky break. I was in a hostel in Cladino Junction, abstinent, 3 chances, you're out. I'd gone through 3, give me a couple more. Anyway, I'd gone back to Rhyl because I'd failed there, and I'd been on the streets of Rhyl, and I'm not used to this life, and I'm just not, I'm a big guy, but I'm just not built for that sort of living. So I tried to end my life, and I couldn't. I ended up in Grand Clwyd Hospital, and they brought me back. And one of the guys from the hostel got me in another house in Penmaenmawr. Turned out to be a Christian house. I didn't know this at the time. And yeah, I was still drinking a bit, when I had this new start. I thought, right, this is my chance. So I stopped drinking a couple of days, and then, it started up in my head again, and I had to keep on drinking again. And my mum just got in touch, and she said she was going to church and back in touch with her friends that she knew from when she was a child. So I thought, well, this is my great way to I'm in a Christian house, I'll just go to church. I don't want to know about it all and all that, but I'll just go just to see my mum. So I started going every Sunday to see my mum, and I know something just took a grip of me. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was happening inside me. So kept going to see my mum, but then after church, I'd go back to Penmaenmawr and go into my room and drink. And it was February. I got baptised on the Sunday, went home to do my normal drinking, and I just took a sip of the cider. I'd gone to the shop and bought what I'd normally get, and took a sip of this cider, and just tasted like vomit. And so I checked the date, and it was in date. It was a cider that I always drink every day, and it just tasted like vomit. So then I knew that was like God saying to me, no more. So I poured it away, prayed, went to bed, woke up, gone. No desire to drink. Amazing. No depression, no anxiety, and yeah, just grew from there. So a few months without the drink, I joined the food bank. Dave Jones had actually met me in a homeless shelter 12 months prior to me going to church, so it was good for me to come through the door. And yeah, 18 months, joined the food bank. It was going strong. I'm married, family's back in touch, driving again, because I'd always lose my license, drink driving. So I'd spent 31 years and I'd lost everything. And then in 18 months, through church and this team around the food bank, I got it all back and loads more. So yeah, there's loads more in between, but yeah, that's the base of it. So
Yeah, that's amazing. That, and I appreciate your honesty, being so open and honest about it, and the fact that you know people welcomed you in, accepted you as you are. And I think at this time with COVID now, we need to be so much more accepting of each other. And I think that's the beauty of the food bank, is that it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter your situation, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you're going through or what you've been through. We're here to help. There's no judgment. And as you said before, you don't need to feel embarrassed. You don't need to feel like like you're too good for this, because everyone is struggling right now. Loads of people have lost their
yeah,
jobs. Loads of people have been put on furlough.